Welcome. It's the 18th week of 2021. Please consider supporting Trekzone at the Trekzone/support, as well as liking this video and subscribing on YouTube and subscribing to our podcast feed on your favourite app if you're listening to me right now too. Now in 4K, let's dive in. John de Lancie has continued the publicity blitz for his upcoming return to the franchise, with more cameo videos being posted online. De Lancie dropped the news that Picard is filming seasons 2 and 3 concurrently, and that he'll be appearing across both of them. Now, there were rumours that this was going to be happening with filming of seasons 2 and 3, but 2020 obviously halted production, but no official word was given. Additionally, no green light for season 3 from Paramount Plus has been given as well. It's likely a safe bet now. John de Lancie noted that the COVID protocols on set are tight, with regular testing and crew wearing masks and face shields. In fact, we'll learn a little bit more about those restrictions in Hollywood and the rules as well when Orville director and producer John Cassar beams in for a chat in a couple of weeks. Meanwhile, LeVar Burton's guest spot on The View last week has given us some insight into Geordie's future in the franchise. Speaking with Whoopi Goldberg, Burton said categorically that he was not doing season 2 of Picard, but he does believe it's reasonable and practical to assume that Picard still knows his former senior staff and is friends with them. Burton said that he hopes we'll see more of Picard's friends before this is all over. The current thinking is that Picard will only run for the 3 seasons, so Burton will likely be donning the contact lenses really soon, if at all, given the filming schedule. Also of interest in that interview, Whoopi Goldberg remained mum on Guinan's role. And speaking of returns, Michelle Yeoh has spoken with the official Star Trek podcast, and she believes there is a future for Emperor Georgiou in the franchise, noting that going through the Guardian of Forever was like goodbye until we meet again. Perhaps, she says, one day Georgiou will find out Michael is in dire straits and something has to be done. Yeoh also noted that she knows Kurtzman and the showrunners of the current slate have a lot more things in store for such an amazing character. One glaring omission, though, from the chat was the Section 31 show, which was hastily announced before the second Discovery season had premiered, which led to the hasty announcement of Strange New Worlds following Anson Mount's rousing fan reception. Now, Section 31 was supposed to be the next live-action series after Picard, but that seems to be on the back burner for now, and frankly, I hope it's buried for good. That's my opinion. To a quick space headline now, and Crew 1 has successfully returned home. After a weather delay forced the scrubbing a few days ago, the 4-astronaut team boarded their Dragon capsule with the first nighttime splashdown in 53 years, taking place a few hours later in the Gulf of Mexico off the Florida coast. Michael Hopkins, Victor Glover, Shannon Walker and Soichi Noguchi completed 5 months in orbit and marked the return of crewed launches from American soil after almost a decade since the shuttle retired. It was a crowded last week on the space station, with Crew 2 docking earlier in the week and forcing a bit of creative thinking for sleeping quarters. 2 members of the expedition relegated to the Dragon capsule for a few nights. Well, what a week on Trekzone. We recapped that time when Lee Sargent and I talked the animated adventures. Brad brought us details of a whole heap of space junk threatening our orbit. Keely and I recapped the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and prepped for the premiere of The Bad Batch this week. Dr. Laura McCamish was my guest on Talkin' Science. We spoke about the hunt for life molecules, and we caught up on that time when we met the awesome Grant Imahara. And the 3 greatest names in television, of course, they are Richard Dean Anderson. This week, strap yourselves in and get subscribed, because we're recapping The Next Generation. Dr. Brad will have the latest science and space news. Pixamondo's Fausto Hader beams in to chat about his work across all 4 seasons of Discovery. That's right, 4 seasons. Look out for that one. And Perth PhD student Nick Swainston is here to chat about the pulsar that he recently discovered. Then we'll catch up on that time when we first met Rod Roddenberry and author Dave Galanta, who has an interesting story about Axanar to tell. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe and ring the bell on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our podcast feed in your favourite app and sign up for the mailing list on our website, of course. That's trekzone.org. Leave a comment here on YouTube too. Let's chat about the stories this week. Emperor Georgiou, LeVar Burton, SpaceX, Crew 1. But for now, and as always, I'm Matt Miller for Trekzone.
Keep up to date with Twitter. Catch new podcasts daily on YouTube. Plus, we're beaming to your favorite podcast app 5 days a week. Just search for Trekzone and subscribe.